this. So, my name is Emily Mascarenas. I am the founder of Blooming and Glowing, and I am also a mum. I'm just going to bring up my slideshow for you. I'm a mum of 3 boys. Frankie, who is 7 years old, then we've got Mickey, who's 4, and we've got Ziggy, who's 18 months old. And I'm very, very passionate about sharing doTERRA essential oils because how they've changed our lives on many, many different levels. Also, for the last 7 years, I've been a preschool music class teacher for babies and children. And you know, looking after our family's health is a really big concern for me. And this is what initially attracted me to the oils, because I wanted to have these natural solutions for my family. And then very quickly, once I got started and I started to learn about the benefits that they were having for us, I was blown away by the results. It was very instinctive to want to share what I've discovered with other people. And now what I've seen 2 years later is a community of people that have just fallen in love with these natural solutions because they've seen how much they can benefit themselves and how wonderful it is to be able to empower people to have these gifts from nature to reach for in times of need in our homes. I'm just going to shut the door. So I am very, very passionate about sharing them. So here we are in the park. This was actually last winter. So my children are a year on, but this is us. This is where we live in Hampton Hill, which is southwest London. And how we're getting on there on Facebook. Just trying to reconnect. I might need to open the door again, because we lost the signal. But I thought that was a good picture because it's obviously pretty cold over here in England, in the UK at the moment. We've even got snow, which is not, we don't get that very often. So it's kind of exciting. But another great thing about these oils really is the fact that we can use them, especially throughout the winter, to look after our health. And to protect ourselves from bugs and germs and viruses. And obviously there's a lot going around in the winter time, and especially at Christmas, it's a busy time of the year and it can be a bit stressful. We don't always look after ourselves right. And so usually by this time of year, people are starting to think about, okay, what am I going to do in the new year? What am I going to implement into my life to make me feel healthier? What resolutions am I going to adopt? So this is why I wanted to run this webinar tonight, because if you are starting to think about how you can take your health more seriously, and you've been thinking about starting to integrate more natural solutions into your life, then this is the time to start right now and get yourself prepared, ready for 2018. So you step into the new year with more clarity, more energy, with more focus, and just more intention about how you live your life. These days we are reaching for more natural solutions. Some of us are fed up with the standard healthcare that we've been perhaps reaching for in the past, that isn't necessarily good for our bodies, but we haven't known about any alternatives. And so what we have here is amazing, safe, natural alternatives that come from nature. So we're going to explore that a little bit this evening. So I'm going to tell you 3 amazing things about doTERRA essential oils, okay? The first is they're 100% pure and natural. There's nothing added in, nothing taken away from them. They are exactly as nature provided for us, okay? They're a wonderful alternative or complement to the medicine cabinet. And number 3 is they are a fantastic cost-effective solution as well. So I'm just going to delve into this a little bit more. I'm just bringing up a picture. If you guys on Facebook, you're not going to be able to see my slides, but for you guys on Zoom, you can see my slides. And there's a picture of me here in the lavender fields. This was last year in Bulgaria, actually, we went on a doTERRA trip, and this lavender field was amazing, the energy there, and we all got back on the bus, and we were just like almost sedated by the aroma. It was very, very powerful. But yes, these essential oils come from plants, and there's nothing added to them and nothing taken away. And what doTERRA do here is they are able to create the most pure and potent essential oils in the world. Okay. So before I go into that, I'm just going to tell you a little bit quickly about what an essential oil actually is, if you don't know. When I first started learning about them, I was unsure. I delved into alternative remedies, but I didn't really know the difference between a tincture or herbal remedies, homeopathy, and there's a big difference. So an essential oil actually is the natural aromatic compound that is extracted from a plant, and it's usually steam distilled, or in the case of the citrus oils, it comes from the rind of the fruit. It's cold pressed. Okay. And they are very, very concentrated. Okay, so an example of that would be that 1 drop of peppermint oil contains the equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. So as you can see, they're very, very condensed, and this is why they're very powerful. But a little goes such a long way, and so they're very, very easy to use as well. So that is what an essential oil actually is. And what it is, interestingly, is it's the immune system of the plant. So I kind of think that's really cool. Just like we have our own immune systems, so do plants, and that's to protect them from bacteria and viruses, from fungal infections, from predators, from sunlight. But what's really cool is because we are carbon based, and so as plants, we can use their immune system and for our own benefit and to the benefit of our bodies. And so essential oils work really, really well inside our bodies, and they work at a cellular level. So what they are able to do is help the body to heal itself from the inside out. So we're not just addressing the symptoms here, which obviously a lot of standard allopathic medicine is just addressing the symptoms. We're actually delving deeper to be looking at the root causes. Okay, so now there's a big difference when it comes to essential oils in the quality, and this really shocked me when I started to learn more about doTERRA. Now, the trouble is there's no brand, there's no kind of government regulation for essential oils. So unfortunately, these days, you can pick up a bottle of essential oil and it can say that it's pure or organic on the label, but in reality, you don't really know what is going into that bottle of essential oil. In many cases, it will be diluted. It will often not be the pure oil. It will often contain maybe a similar smelling oil, but that doesn't have the same qualities. And what often tends to happen is in there you'll be getting synthetics, pesticides perhaps, and adulteration in many cases. And what we're finding, sadly, is that bottles of essential oils that have on the label saying they're pure, and then when they're tested, they're coming back as containing very little, if anything, of the oil that it says it is on the bottle. And they can totally do this. There's no government body that's regulating it. And that is worrying because, as I said before, because these essential oils go into every cell of the body, they are going to be traveling into the cells, things that you don't want in your cells. If they've got pesticides, chemicals, adulteration, that's not what we want. And this is why we have to really be careful about the quality of the oils that we are using, because however you decide to use them, be it aromatically, topically, or internally with doTERRA, these oils are getting into your cells of yourself or your family. Okay, so doTERRA realised that. They decided to create a brand high standard across the board, so you can guarantee that every single drop of every single bottle is exactly what it says it is on the label. Okay, nothing added in, nothing taken away. And they created what's called CPTG, and that's Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. And this is doTERRA's own brand standard that they have given themselves, and it equates to the levels that they go to create these beautiful quality oils. And there's no other company going to these same lengths that doTERRA are going to. This is why doTERRA are the biggest essential oil company in the world. They do more testing than any other company, including the third-party testing. They do 5 different tests over 3 different times over the life of the essential oil. And they're also doing third-party testing, which a lot of other companies can't and won't do. Another great thing that they've integrated is now, you see on the bottom of each bottle here, you can look up a lot number, and that will bring up the GCMS testing, which is the gas chromatography mass spectroscopy testing, the purity testing, basically. So it's so transparent, so you can really actually guarantee that you are getting what you think you're getting. You know, there was something happened the other day, and there's a great man, he's a biochemist of essential oils called Dr. Robert Pappas. He used to work third-party testing doTERRA essential oils. He's a big advocate of doTERRA because he trusts the company. And he now, what he's doing at the moment is he's going and testing other bottles of essential oils and revealing so many scams. And he tested this bottle of essential oil recently, and it said it was pure on the label, and it came back as containing 0% of the oil that it says it was in the bottle. And actually, one of our girls from our oily community, our blooming and glowing tribe, they had a bottle of this in their cupboard at home that they had before trying doTERRA. And she said it was really expensive, and she had no idea that it wasn't what it says it was. So this is a problem, but you can guarantee with doTERRA, because of this CPTG standard, you can guarantee what you're getting. Okay. Now, the other thing that happens also with CPTG, the standard that is required, is the oils are being sourced from all over the world where the plant is growing in its natural indigenous habitat. So this is a big key factor as well, because you know, it doesn't take much common sense to realize that an essential oil that comes from a plant that lives in its natural habitat, where that plant is happy and healthy and alive, is going to have a very different chemistry to the quality of an oil and the potency of an oil that is, say, grown in a greenhouse or farmed or forced or grown on your windowsill, for example. Of course, that's going to happen. So what doTERRA have decided to do is to source their oils from all over the world where that plant is growing happily and healthfully. So you have lemons from Sicily, frankincense from Oman and Somalia, lavender from Bulgaria and from the French Alps. And what's happening there is these plants have a really powerful immune system. For example, you know, in the French Alps where they source lavender from, this is a really cool thing. You know, I was reading recently about why lavender from the French Alps is really potent, and it's because the lavender that grows there at such high altitude has to give off a really powerful aroma to be able to attract the bees up the mountain to pollinate the plants. So it's a really interesting factor. But what doTERRA are doing is they're really being intentional about where, you know, in the world they're going to source these oils from, so they have the therapeutic quality that doTERRA require. So they work. So you have the purity, but also, really importantly, you have the potency as well. And you can see, you know, if you're on Zoom now, you can see where the oils are sourced from all over the world. Some amazing places. And this is why when you take the lid off your bottle of essential oil and you smell it, this is why you can smell the difference. And what we tend to always hear is that people that try doTERRA will not want to go back to their brand that they had before, because you can just smell the difference and taste it if it's an oil that you are using internally. But you know, what we want is the oil to smell great and to actually also work. A lot of people will say, oh, I've tried essential oils before, but it didn't really work for me. And I'll say, yeah, but what brand of essential oil were you using? Because there may well have been very little of that essential oil in your bottle, because you can't guarantee it. Whereas often what happens is when people try doTERRA, they're blown away by the results because they work. Okay, so if you're interested in, you know, how doTERRA are creating and sourcing their oils, then you're really going to want to log on to a website called Source to You, which really goes into detail all the levels that doTERRA are going to. So that's www.sourcetoyou.com. And on that website, you can look up, this is the website that you can look up the purity testing that I mentioned. You can look up what's happening, and how doTERRA have formed relationships with the growers and the harvesters. So it's really helping these communities as well to get off the ground. Some of these countries, they don't often have the ability to generate income in that many ways. There's not many ways for them to earn a living, and often these people, they just want the ability to be able to provide for their families. Now, doTERRA source from over 46 different countries worldwide, and over 26 of these are considered developing countries. So then what's happening from this co-impact sourcing method is doTERRA are raising communities and giving the harvesters and the growers long-lasting contracts of work and the ability for them to earn more money than they could before. And they're really, building people up and helping people all over the world. And so for me, when I hold a bottle of this essential oil now, I don't just think about how it benefits me and my family, or even the community of people that I've introduced to doTERRA. I'm actually thinking about how this oil is making its mark all over the world, and the people that have, put the hard work and the love and the effort into creating these oils, they are also paid back in a lovely, lovely way. So that's another part of this company that I'm very, very proud and passionate about, because they're sourcing from all over the world. They're helping people all over the world as well. And there's some great videos on this Source to You website as well that you can log in and watch. It often brings a tear to my eye, seeing them in Haiti, where they source an oil called vetiver, which is an amazing oil for deep sleep. And when doTERRA visited, they realized that this village had no running water. And so what doTERRA have then done is they've created water in a village. They've given us water to, they've provided a well and water to schools. And they're doing this all over the world, not just by supporting the harvesters and the growers, but actually rebuilding homes following natural disasters, providing villages with water, and also supporting independent organisations that are doing good, charitable, ethical work. They're the most ethical and integral company that I have ever come across in my life. Literally, they do so much. So if you are interested in this side of things, log on to Source to You, www.source2you.com, and you can learn more about that side of things and what they're doing all over the world. And these are just some pictures I brought up now of the Healing Hands Foundation. So as I say, this is the charitable side of doTERRA, but doTERRA have products that you can buy, and 100% of the proceeds will go to the Healing Hands Foundation. And then they choose organisations that they want to be able to sponsor and support. And they've given over, I think over £100,000 to Days for Girls, which is an organisation that teaches women about their bodies. They've given thousands of pounds to another organisation called Operation Underground Railroad, which is an organisation that is saving children from sex trade trafficking. So incredible organisations that we support as well. Okay, so the second great thing about the essential oils, when it comes to us using them ourselves, is that they are a fantastic alternative or complement to your medicine cabinet. Now, what I want to highlight here actually is that I'm very grateful for Western medicine. Don't get me wrong, we are very, very lucky. In the UK, we're very, very lucky to have the NHS. This saves lives, of course it does. However, what we're finding now is a general consensus of people wanting to have natural solutions to reach for it. And it's great and empowering to not have to reach for the more toxic solutions, more chemical solutions all the time to manage your health, because a build-up of toxins in the body is going to, not be good for our health, and a build-up of toxins can cause disease, inflammation. So what we're seeing is people wanting to have other choices, and people asking a few more questions about the products that they're using, that they're bringing into their homes and using on their families. Okay, and the great thing about these oils is they can be used alongside Western medicine. as a complement to help the body to perhaps heal from some of the side effects that they bring. And we have a big scientific team within doTERRA. doTERRA is a science-based company, and essential oils are pure science. There's nothing hocus pocus about them. We've got so much research that has been done and is continually being doing on the effects of essential oils with the body. And you know, even within my community, my blooming and glowing community, we've got several doctors now and more scientific people, as well as your more alternative practitioners. And then we've got mums and dads just like me and many of you watching. So you know, what I'm trying to highlight here is that, you know, it doesn't have to be one or the other. They can be used very nicely alongside standard meds. And we're starting to see integration of more natural medicine into our healthcare system. And we're going to see more and more of that over the years now. Because, yeah, science is leading the way with the oils. So I've got a picture here for you Zoomers of why these essential oils are so exciting. And the reason for that is when it comes to when we're ill, we've got a virus. Just going to draw you a little picture. What tends to happen is if we go to the doctors, you know, I have as I say, a couple of doctors on our team, and she'll say to me, most of the time when people come to me, they have a virus. And I can't give them anything. I just have to say, go home, get some rest, drink lots of fluids, you know, etc. Because what happens is a virus lives within a cell. Okay, so I'm just going to draw, hopefully you can see this. This is a cell picture here. Now, bacteria floats around the body in the blood system. So if we have a bacterial infection, we can be given antibiotics, and that can kill the bacteria. But it won't penetrate through into the cell, so it won't hit a virus. Now, obviously, unfortunately, we're seeing overuse of antibiotics these days, which has a diminishing effect on the good gut bacteria that we have in our gut, which is where our immune system is. And we're also seeing more and more of these superbugs and antibiotic-resistant bacteria. So this is a worry. Now, as I said, viruses live within cells, but the reason why essential oils are so exciting is because essential oils are made up of very, very tiny, complex particles, molecules. And as such, they do have the ability to cross through the cell wall. They are fat-based, not water-based, as Western medicine tends to be water-based, but essential oils are fat-based, and they actually do have the ability to break through the cell wall into the cell and kill the virus, and also kill bacteria as well. So they are a really, really exciting, powerful option that works. And as I say, science, this is all science, and there's so much research on this now. Go on to PubMed, which is a scientific journal, and on the doTERRA main website, you can look up loads of different science-related research there for you to jump into and delve deeper into. But you know, this is nothing new. Plants have been used as medicine since the beginning of time. There's hundreds of references to essential oils in the Bible, and you know, ancient Egyptian Sanskrits. You know, they knew something back then, but what we're seeing now is it's almost like we're seeing a new surge, because people are getting fed up of not having other options, and they want to have alternatives, and people are starting to be empowered to do their own research and find their own solutions. Okay, so the great thing about them, of course, is they're really, really easy to use as well. So as long as you can read your A to Z, you can use these oils. Now, if you were to come on board with our team, we have our favoured resources that we would help you to get going with, the books that we suggest and apps on your phone. So once you jump in, it's really easy to learn, you know, and get started, because literally you can look up an A to Z of ailments, and it will give you several different oils that you can choose from, and how often to use them, and how regularly, etc., etc. So, you know, anybody can get going with these oils. It's not scary. Okay, so the third really exciting thing about the oils is they're a really cost-effective natural solution. Now, it's interesting, isn't it? I think I used to be a person who used to spend my money on expensive handbags and shoes and never question it. And yet, when it comes to something like essential oils, people often will say, oh no, they're too expensive. But really, you can't put a price on health, okay? If you don't have your health, you have nothing. So actually, we really should be thinking more about this. But if money is an option, is an issue for you, and something that you're concerned about, you need these oils even more, because as I said before, they're very, very concentrated, and a little goes a long, long way. So you only need perhaps that one drop of peppermint oil for your headache or for your digestive upset, and in comparison, this is often much cheaper than Western meds. And let's think about, okay, if you're getting ill regularly and you're having to have time off work, that's going to cost you money, right? How about if your child's sick or getting, recurrent illness? You'll have to have time off work again to be able to be there to look after them. And how about even the cost of the petrol to drive to the doctor's surgery? In most cases, that is more expensive than that one drop of essential oil. One drop of peppermint oil will cost you around 12p, as opposed to one drop of Gaviscon, one tablet of Gaviscon for your indigestion or your heartburn is going to be costing about 19p. So it's significantly more. I suffer with allergies. I have bad hay fever come the spring, and I don't want to use antihistamines on my body. I hate the way that it makes me feel. It makes me drowsy, and I just don't want to be using those chemicals in my body. It's not a choice I want to make, and I'm clear on what choices I want to make in my life. I want to be the best version and the most awake and energized version of me that I can. So for me, that's not an option. However, I do need to use something to manage my symptoms. So one drop of my lemon, lavender and peppermint essential oil, which is known as the Allergy Trio, will cost about 20p. But one tablet that you may take, I've got to be a bit careful about what I say here, but one tablet that you may take for your allergies will probably cost you about double. So if cost is an issue, then you need to think about this even more. Okay. Hello, Mick.
Hello.
My little boy's just come up to say hello. I'm just doing a webinar. Do you want to say hello?
Hello. Where are you?
Okay, go downstairs, babes. Good boy. So where are we now? I'm going to take you through a lovely experience known as the WOP. This is what we call it in our tribe, and this is the wild orange and peppermint experience together. So for anybody who hasn't tried the oils before, you must try this, because it's just like a burst of amazing energy, and it will uplift you and it will unblock your nose, amongst other things. If you're suffering from a headache, it will probably help. So what we do is we will take a drop of wild orange oil. Wild orange is sourced from the Dominican Republic. It's very energizing, and it's a really sunny, optimistic oil. All the citrus oils are great for your mood. If you're feeling a bit low, if kind of the colder weather it has an effect on your mood and how you're feeling, then you should go for the citrus oils. It's also great in like a natural yogurt or a granola. Lovely. I've got some in my sparkling water, so it makes it a little bit like a kind of fizzy drink that isn't so good for you, but this is a much better option. So we'll take a drop of wild orange and put that in the palm of one hand, and then peppermint oil. Okay, so peppermint, I'm going to go into a bit more detail about this in a minute, but peppermint is a stimulant, so not one that you'd really use right before bedtime, because it would probably keep you awake. As I said, one drop of this peppermint is equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. So these essential oils are much more powerful than herbs. Okay, so what you'll do is put a drop of that peppermint in your other hand, smell them separately, because that's kind of nice, and then just rub your hands together, cup your hands, close your eyes, and just take several deep breaths in and out, and you'll just start to feel energized, your sinuses opening, and you just can feel that tension melting away. And just that act of intentional breathing can totally change how you're feeling. I love watching people's faces when I do this experience on a live class, and it's amazing to see how the oils can change how you're feeling straight away. People smile, their faces wake up, they light up. So you must try this, the wild orange and peppermint experience. Somebody called it, what did they call it the other day? They called it a nosegasm, which I thought was great. So I'll go into a bit more detail about peppermint in a minute. But yeah, that is the WOP. So there are 3 ways that you can use doTERRA essential oils, and only doTERRA essential oils, because of the purity, which obviously I've mentioned before. You can't guarantee what you're getting with other brands, unfortunately. However, with doTERRA, you really can. So the first way is aromatically. So when you're inhaling an aroma, that means you're using it aromatically. You've got to be able to smell it. So you could, put a drop in the palms of your hands and inhale. You could even just open the bottle and sniff straight from the bottle. You could be using diffuser jewelry. So I've got a little bracelet here with lava beads on it. They act as a great diffuser. Or even just applying to your pulse points, using yourself as a human diffuser. You could also use one of these, which is called a diffuser. You need to be using a cool mist diffuser. So unfortunately, before I started to learn about the oils, I used to use a candle, but most candles are toxic, sadly, these days. And also, what happens when you burn and heat up an oil is a bit like when you overcook food. It destroys the qualities in there. So you need to be using a cool mist diffuser. This is one of the ones that doTERRA does. There's a big selection that you can get. But the doTERRA diffusers are great quality, and also they use a special type of plastic which isn't going to denature by some of the oils, okay, and it's not going to be broken down. So what you do then is you fill it up with cold water and a couple of drops of your chosen oil or blend of oils. You can have so much fun. Go on Pinterest, look up different diffuser recipes, or create your own. Sometimes what I like to do is hold 2 bottles together and just smell them and see if it works. It's very much a choice thing with the oils, and about listening to your body and being in tune with your body, as in what works for you, because everybody's got different tastes. And an oil that I love, it might not be good for you, it might not work for you. So I love that you can have so much fun, but it's very much about tuning in within yourself. Very quickly, the science behind this, as I said, it's all about the science, is when an aroma travels up your nose, it reaches the sensory receptors at the back of your nose, which is your olfactory nerve. That sends direct messages to the limbic part of your brain, which is where your emotions lie. And this is why when you're inhaling an aroma, you can have such a significant effect on your mood very quickly. So you really can be using the oils as a tool to take you to an emotional place where you would rather be. A lot of us throughout our lives, we have habits, emotional habits that we might not necessarily be proud of or be happy with. We might get stressed or frustrated or angry or worried easily. But what you can be doing is using your oils almost like an anchor to rewire the brain, and so when you smell that aroma, it's taking you to a place where you would rather be. And by doing this regularly, you are really rewiring that chemistry and using your oils as tools. Now, when I first started using the oils, I came across them more for the physical side of things. I wanted to protect myself and my children mainly from germs and bugs, and that's why I started using essential oils and doTERRA. But obviously we don't have ailments every day, but we have our emotional needs every day. So we do use the oils for our emotions several times a day, and we wouldn't be without them, to be honest. So that's aromatically. The second way that you can use the doTERRA oils is topically. So this means applying it to the skin. And now what I would like to really highlight here is that, as I said, these oils are very powerful. They're very, very concentrated. So you must use them carefully and you must respect them, okay? And this is why it's important that you do use, the resources that we would suggest for you as your skeleton, as your shell when you're starting out. And then as I said, it's very much about listening to your body and what works. The book that I use, those dilution ratios are quite cautious for me, but I know my body and I know my children's body, and I know that we can add a few more drops of oil and we're going to be fine with that. But everybody's sensitivity is different. So it's like what I said before, you need to tune in and tap in and listen to your body and let it tell you, okay? So I suggest dilution. Now, some of the oils are quite gentle, and so a lot of people can use some of them neat. But certainly when you're starting out, dilution doesn't mean that it's going to make the oil work less. In actual fact, sometimes it makes it work better, because it stops it from evaporating. If you're applying an oil to that warm skin, a lot of it can be lost from evaporation, whereas a carrier oil is going to hold the oil there, and it's going to help it to penetrate in, and it can make your oil go a bit further as well. And obviously for those of you that are sensitive, it's going to be you're not going to have any reaction. Again, it's about listening to your body. I do suggest doing like a patch test on a sensitive part of your body, like your wrist or the inside of your elbow, and just seeing. And a great place to be applying the oils is on the soles of your feet, because the skin there is thicker, the pores are larger. And what happens is when you apply an essential oil to the soles of the feet, it will absorb into the blood system in around 20 seconds. In 20 minutes, that essential oil will be in every cell of your body. So this is why we really need to be using a pure oil, because as I said, we don't want those synthetics, those pesticides, those chemicals getting into our cells, doing more detriment than benefit. Okay, so hello everybody, and just say, yeah, hi Angela. Oh, that's nice. Heard my story at Amsterdam. Oh, thank you. So yeah, that's topically, and you can be using the oils for your localized needs. So for example, if you have a bad back or a sore shoulder or a sore knee, you can apply the oil direct to the area of need, but also know that this oil is going to work systemically on the whole body, and get into every cell, as I said. Now, the third way that you can use doTERRA essential oils, and only doTERRA, because we can guarantee that purity, is you can take them internally. And as I said, you don't know what you're getting with other brands, so we would not suggest that. But most of the doTERRA oils are safe to internalize. If they've got a supplement fact guide on the bottle, you know that this is a food safe oil. So what you can be doing with the citrus oils is adding them to your water and drinking them daily to flush out toxins, balance hormones, things like that, whichever is your favorite. Also, you can be, again, following the guidelines in the books, in the resources that we share with you. You can be adding them to a veggie cap, add a couple of different drops of the oil into a veggie cap, and be taking that internally like you would do a tablet. And also, what's really fun is you can be adding them to food as well, and just playing around. Go on Pinterest. There's loads of lovely recipes that you'll find. And within our community, we have Facebook groups where we're posting different recipe suggestions and ideas, so you can really have fun with them, making gingerbread biscuits with your children, smoothies, hummus. There's so much you can do, and it really adds that vibrancy and that flavor to your food, as well as giving you that therapeutic benefit as well. But this is what makes them really exciting, sort of a natural form of medicine, like nature's medicine cabinet. Okay, so quick note on safety. We don't put the oils directly in the eyes, in the ears, or up the nose. Obviously, if you do get essential oils in your eyes, which my husband, that does happen sometimes with him, he uses the oils for his headaches. And there's a particular oil that really, really helps him. But then sometimes he forgets and rubs his eyes. And I'm not going to lie, it does sting a bit. It doesn't do you any harm, but it does sting a bit. So what you would use is you would use the carrier oil to wipe out, not water. Okay, and that's the same if you get any skin sensitivity. Again, you would wipe away with the carrier oil. Now, when I say carrier oil, I mean like a vegetable based oil. So you could use even an olive oil, but what we tend to suggest is the fractionated coconut oil that doTERRA does, and this is coconut oil with the fat content taken out, but it's tested to the same CPTG standard, so we know that it hasn't got any mold in there or fungus growing. We know that it works really well with the doTERRA essential oils as well, and it's a nice light based carrier oil as well, so that's a great option. But you could use anything that you have. I like to use essential oils on my skin every evening. I like to use frankincense. It's very renewing for the skin cells. I'll talk a bit more about that. But for me, the doTERRA fractionated coconut oil at this time of year, when my skin can get a bit dry, isn't quite rich enough. So I might find a really good quality argan oil or sweet almond oil and use that instead on my face. But in most cases, and especially with children, or if you're using the oils on your feet, then the fractionated coconut oil is great. Okay. So when you look up how to use the oils in the books, you'll be able to see A, T and I, which is aromatic, topical or internal use, and which oils are suggested to be used in which way. And then N, S and D would stand for neat, sensitive, or always dilute, basically. So it's good to use the guides and the resources when you're starting out, and then feel your way. You'll start to very quickly work out what works for you. You can be creative with that as well. You can, really start to explore them and create your own recipes and blends that work for you. And it's great hearing other people's testimonials about what they've done and what's really helped them with all manner of ailments, from A to Z. So this is one of the things that I love about doTERRA. Obviously, doTERRA is a health and wellness company. And so talking about the fact that you can internalize these oils and be adding them to your food recipes, and on the subject of food, obviously doTERRA will not go around saying you can eat a really bad diet, drink loads of alcohol, smoke loads of cigarettes, but if you use the oils, you'll be fine, because obviously that's not going to happen. So doTERRA created this wellness pyramid, and at the base, core foundation of this pyramid is our diet, what we're putting into our bodies. Of course, we have to consume good quality nutrition, and that is the base core foundation. But unfortunately, these days, most of us are depleted. And in most cases, this is because the soil these days is very, very deficient. It's often been over-farmed. It hasn't been crop rotated. And also, the food that we're eating, even if it's, organic, or even if it's, what you would consider to be a healthy choice, it doesn't contain the same nutrition that it used to. A lot of our food is shipped or flown in. In many cases, it's stored for months before we actually consume it. Doesn't have the same enzymes, that we need if it's picked before it's had the ability to ripen. So most of us these days are deficient of nutrients, and we should supplement. I read a fascinating study recently, and it was comparing an apple these days to an apple in the 1950s. And these days, we would have to consume 28 apples to get the same nutrition as one apple in the 1950s. That's crazy. So this is the problem. Most of us are deficient in nutrients. So, as I said, I never really believed in supplements before. I always used to say, it doesn't matter. I eat a healthy diet. I don't need to supplement. But the more I've researched this, the more I've realized that actually most of us do need to supplement. I eat a really good diet, mainly organic, plant-based, healthy choices. But, we still need that extra support. So doTERRA created an amazing product, and it's called the Lifelong Vitality Kit. And this is actually doTERRA's #1 best-selling product right now. And it also offers a 30-day back money guarantee, which I think is really, it's a telltale sign, isn't it? People love this product, and doTERRA are even willing to give you your money back if you don't notice a difference in 30 days. Now, what happened with this is, everyone raved about it, and I thought, I don't need supplements. I eat a good diet. And then My husband, he started to take it. We lead quite a busy life. We've got 3 boys. They keep us busy, to say the least. And a couple of years ago, we were at our busiest. You know, we were juggling lots of different work at the time. And Tim would then cycle into London, which, you know, is about 16 miles from where we live, perform in the theatre in Phantom of the Opera, because that's our background. We're actors. Do 1 or 2 shows and then cycle home, get back at midnight, and then be up at 7 o'clock in the morning to do the school run, and then our music classes. And, you know, it was a juggle. And he started to feel a bit run down, a few aches and pains in his body. He's not getting any younger, right? So he said, I'm going to try these because everyone raves about them. And what I started to notice was every time he started to get to the end of his bottles, he was like, can you get me some more of those, please? Anyway, not long after that, I started to feel like I needed a bit of extra support. I'd not long had baby Ziggy, and my allergies, my hay fever started to kick in. And Tim, my husband, said to me, just try the Lifelong Vitality Kit. I don't need supplements, I'm fine. Anyway, I did. And very, very quickly, I noticed a change in inflammation, in like kind of the reactiveness of my body, especially with my allergies. Everything kind of calmed down a bit, and I had more energy, more clarity. And this is why people love this product. You know, I've got members on my team that have been suffering with inflammation, with depression, and just energy levels. One girl who was suffering from ME, she said she couldn't get out of bed, and she started taking the Lifelong Vitality Kit. After a couple of weeks, she said the difference was like night and day. You know, before that, it was like her life was like walking through treacle. And then suddenly she had this energy and this clarity. And that's because she was getting the nutrition that she needed for her body to be at its optimum. So what you have here is you have the Microplex, which is your food nutrients. It's all whole food. You've got some superfoods in there as well, minerals and herbs, and just stuff that you're not going to get from your diet, basically. Then you've got the Z Omega, which is your omega complex. So you've got your omega oils, but all in the right balance, so they're not cancelling each other out. But also, really excitingly, you've got 9 of the essential oils that we should be taking every day in there as well. And they're essential oils for inflammation in the body. A lot of inflammation in the body leads to disease often. And then you've also got high antioxidant oils in there, such as clove. Clove is nature's most powerful antioxidant, so that's in there too. And then the third bottle is your Alpha CRS, which is your cellular energy complex. It's for the mitochondria in your cells, which is like the engine of the cells. So this is why you're getting that energy boost as well. So, you know, this is an amazing kit. I think everybody should be on this, but certainly anyone with anything chronic going on, I will always suggest this as a core foundation first, because what it will do is it will help your body to assimilate the nutrients. This is all bioavailable to the body. It will help you to benefit from the food that you are eating, and also it will help the oils that you're using to work better in your body as well. So this is a great kit that I just wanted to highlight before we move on. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to talk to you about an amazing kit of oils. Now, doTERRA do over 80 different products, which all start with our beautiful oils, and they're all pure, plant-based, and very, very natural, with only the best quality of ingredients. But of course, I don't have time to go through all of that tonight. So for anybody who is wanting to start out, then this is a great option for you, because this kit, which is the Family Essentials kit here, this is where most people will start. And it's just such a versatile kit. You can be using these oils for so many different reasons, for all manner of ailments, physical and emotional. And as a mother myself, and as I say, I teach babies and children music classes as well, I feel so blessed to have this box in my home, and I feel so passionate about sharing this with other people. I feel like every family should have these in their home, because I know how much support they give people. They're like comfort in the palms of your hands. You know, as a mother myself, when my children are ill in the night, to have something to reach for in those times of need that I feel safe to use, but also that work, you can't put a price on that. And this is what the oils are. They're comfort. So this is a great place to start. If you're a person who is wanting to get started with more natural solutions, integrating them into your life, and to start eliminating some of these chemicals and these toxins that we just use without thinking about them, just because everyone uses them doesn't mean that they're right, doesn't mean that they're good for us. If you're that person that wants to step into 2018 with a fresh start, but you don't know where to start, then this is a really great place to start, because they're very easy to use, and as I say, they're so versatile. So that's why I'm going to talk to you about this kit and hopefully inspire you and empower you, so maybe by the end of our time tonight you may even be wanting to give them a try. Okay, so the first oil I'm going to tell you about then is lemon. Let me find the lemon. So the doTERRA lemon oil is sourced from Sicily. Okay. Now, lemons are very detoxifying and purifying for the system. A lot of people drink a slice of lemon in a hot water in the morning to cleanse. The problem there is that this is not good for our teeth, for the enamel on our teeth, because the flesh of the lemon is acidic, okay, in the mouth. So your dentist isn't going to be very happy. The great thing about the doTERRA lemon oil is it's from the rind of the fruit. So it's alkaline in the mouth and in the body. And also, it's very concentrated. So in one 15 milliliter bottle of doTERRA lemon oil, you're going to get the rinds of 45 lemons, okay? Now, these days, we are exposed to a lot of toxins. As we said, we're seeing a lot more diseases these days, and that it might be because we are exposed to so many chemicals in the food that we eat, in cleaning products that we're using, in the air that we breathe is polluted. But unfortunately, our body cannot eliminate toxins, and a buildup of toxins in the body can lead to disease. Okay, so what lemon oil does is, because it can get into those cells, into what happens is our body will store the toxins in a fat cell to protect the vital organs. The lemon oil can get into that cell, break down the toxins, and help to flush them out of the body in a safe and natural way. Plus, it tastes so lovely in your water. I like to choose a different citrus oil in my water every day, because of the purifying qualities, but also because it tastes great. And a lot of us don't drink as much water as we should, and you must be intentional about that. You need water. You need to be drinking a lot of water every day to be flushing out toxins and chemicals. Also, lemon is going to help to balance your hormones. We have a girl in our oily community, and she used to have quite bad PMT. I think she might be here, Chloe. And she said that when she started taking this oil, that she was way more balanced, and she didn't have any of those symptoms anymore. So amazing. Now, as I said, we have a lot of chemicals in our cleaning products these days. I'm quite sensitive to that now, so I don't want them in my house. I don't want my children breathing them in. So what we do is we will make up our own cleaning products with the oils, because they have powerful antimicrobial properties. They kill the germs, they make your house smell amazing, and they're safe and natural. So I will get some glassware. If you get started with us, we give you like a whole load of information of where we get our products, glassware, resources, books. But I will fill up a glass bottle with, say, 20 drops of different oils, depending on what I want. Lemon oil, maybe lemongrass, maybe On Guard, which is an oil I'll talk about in a minute, and then top up with water, and I will use that as my cleaner. Lemon oil is amazing. It cuts through grease. It brings up stainless steel beautifully and shiny. It pulls stains out of clothing, off carpets, red wine stains, things like that. It's a really amazing oil, and it's a great oil in your cooking as well. So like lemon hummus, you could add some to your hummus, you could add some to lemon drizzle cake, and you're going to get a really lovely zesty citrus flavor to your cake as well. So that's lemon. There's loads more properties of lemon, but I'm not going to go into too much detail with all of these oils. But if you want to do more research, you can follow us on our Blooming and Glowing Facebook page, or even just go on the doTERRA main website, and you'll be able to find loads more amazing information. Peppermint. So for those of you that did the WOP, the Wild Orange Peppermint experience with me, this is one of the oils that we use. Peppermint, if you if you did inhale it, as we did, you probably would have noticed that your sinuses unblock, because it's a great oil for unblocking the airways. Okay. It's also a stimulant oil. So as I said, you don't want to be using this one at night time because it'll probably keep you awake, but it's really energizing, and it helps to oxidize the blood. It's a great oil to be using before a workout to energize you and get you going. Obviously, peppermint's known to be a real digestive aid. So, if you're suffering from any digestive issues, you could have a drop of this in some warm water, not boiling water, by the way. You want to boil your kettle, pour your hot water into a jug and just let it cool a bit, and then add your oil in. So you don't want to destroy those therapeutic qualities. So also it's a great oil for headaches. So if you have any kind of head tension, you could be applying a drop to the temples, the back of the neck, on the brain stem, and that's going to really, really help you. It also wards off sugar cravings, so that's really good at this time of year with all the sugary treats that might be lying around in your houses. It's not going to help with tension and headaches as well. So peppermint is a great oil. It really works. I just tend to sort of tip the bottle up and put a dab on the roof of my mouth, and it really works. It stops you wanting those sugary treats. It also is a repellent, so it wards off unwanted visitors such as spiders, mice, insects in the summer. So it's a great oil. It calms the temperature with children. It's really, really important to remember that when our body is ill and when we throw off a temperature, when our children have a temperature, it's because our body's immune system is kicking in and we're fighting something. So we want to let the body do its work, not suppress that. So what we want to do is be supporting the body, but not stopping it from doing what it needs to do. So peppermint's very, very cooling. You could put a drop of your fractionated coconut oil up the spine, and then a drop of peppermint up the spine. And as I said, these oils are comfort in the palms of your hands. When my children are sick, it often tends to be at night time, and everything's always heightened. If you're a mom, you'll probably agree, everything's heightened at night time in the evenings. So I feel very grateful to have these oils to reach for. They just bring me comfort as a mother that I can't even explain. Lavender. Okay, so this is the most widely used essential oil in the world. And this one really shone out to me when I first started learning about the oils as smelling so different to other essential oils that I'd smelled before. I wasn't really a huge fan of lavender. I sometimes found it a bit vinegary, a bit kind of granified, whereas the doTERRA lavender is very, very different. It's so pure and it's kind of mellow. Now this is one of those oils that they say, if in doubt, go to lavender, because it's so versatile. You can use it in so many ways, and if you're a mum, this is an oil that you'll definitely want to be having in your house to look after your children's health, because you can use it for all manner of things. Emotionally, it's known to be very calming and relaxing, so it's a great oil to be helping with a restful sleep. You could get this going in the diffuser when your children are in the bath. Get your diffuser going in their bedroom, so the air is filled with these aromatic molecules that they're going to be breathing in. It's also purifying the air, getting rid of any germs as well, and it's going to help with restful sleep. I've had customers with terrible issues with being able to sleep, and they will have a drop of this in some water and drink it before bedtime. And I had one lady saying, oh my goodness, I had 10 hours sleep. I haven't slept like that for years. And so that's wonderful to be able to help people in that way. And that's why I love doing what I do, because if you can't get sleep at night, that can really affect your health and the quality of your life. And something so simple as a drop of lavender oil can totally help with that, and help to relax you and calm the mind and give you a beautiful, restful night's sleep. It's a great oil with the children. You don't want to be internalizing the oils with the children, small children for sure. So you can be applying it diluted to the soles of their feet, and that's going to really relax them and calm them before bed. So it's very calming emotionally, but also physically, it's a very calming oil. So any kind of irritation on the skin, so itchy skin, dermatitis, insect stings or bites, stinging nettles, burns. It's a very, very healing oil, and it's a powerful antihistamine as well, so it will stop the itch. This is one that I use when I have my allergies in springtime, because of its powerful antihistamine aspects. So it really helps with kind of my eyes if they're feeling itchy. And I'll put a drop of lemon, lavender and peppermint in a glass of water and drink, or on the soles of my feet in my diffuser. And that just really helps me to manage my symptoms. So what else with lavender? It stops bleeding. It's very good for bruising and just general calming. And this is a lovely oil that you can be making Christmassy gifts with. So yeah, if you've got some relatives that you haven't seen and you think last minute, what am I going to give them? Some Epsom salt with a couple of drops of lavender, maybe a little bit of the dried herb in there in a glass Kilner jar with a ribbon round and maybe a wooden spoon is a lovely heartfelt homemade gesture. And you can have so much fun with the oils, making your own homemade goodies. And then you really know what you're giving people, you know what the ingredients are as well. Okay. So Melaleuca. So this is doTERRA's tea tree oil. It's the species that doTERRA have chosen to have the therapeutic benefits that doTERRA want. Okay, so they're really, really intentional about which type of specific plant they're using and where from in the world that it's going to have the qualities that they want it to have. So Melaleuca is it's a great oil if you're a mum, but for all manner of ailments, it's kind of anti everything, to be honest. So this is a great oil. It's like first aid for the skin. So if my children are running around, my boys tearing all over the place and they cut themselves, I will use Melaleuca and lavender together. And what will happen is the Melaleuca will kind of act as a disinfectant, and then the lavender will help to heal. It's a powerful antifungal oil. So any fungal infections, athlete's foot, fungal toenails, then this is a great oil to be using. It's also great for the scalp, so any kind of itchiness or dandruff. I would combine this one with lavender for dermatitis and eczema as well, dry, itchy, flaky skin, that sort of thing. It's also a great oil for head lice, nits, scabies, ticks, things like that. So this is a great oil to have on hand. Also for any kind of skin issues like acne, a little drop of this. Obviously do that skin sensitivity test first, to see how your body responds and how that feels. But we get through a lot of this in our household. Ear infections. So my son, one of them, my middle boy, he woke up in the middle of the night not so long ago screaming that his ear was hurt. He'd had a cold and I think it developed into a bit of an infection. So we looked up in our book and we decided to use lavender and Melaleuca together on a little cotton wool ball, and then we inserted that into the ear with a plaster over the top, and he went back to sleep. The lavender calmed him, which allowed the Melaleuca to get to work. The next morning he woke up fine. And then that night, my eldest son, exactly the same thing happened. So he'd obviously passed a virus on, and we did the same thing. And bang, exactly the same thing happened. He went back to sleep, and the next day woke up fine. No need for Calpol, no need to go to the doctors, no need for antibiotics. And as I said, I teach music classes to babies and children. And I see so often mums desperate and at the end of their tether, not knowing what to reach for because their child has got another ear infection or another bout of tonsillitis, or their skin is so bad and they don't know what to turn to. And these essential oils are so easy to use and they really, really work. And that is literally comfort in the palms of your hands and at your fingertips. And that's why I'm very passionate about sharing them, because I love helping people. That's why I do what I do. So I do the work that I do with doTERRA. I love using them for myself, and I love seeing others benefit as well. So this is an oil that you can be adding to hair care as well. So when it comes to the head lice, what we did is we created our own repellent spray, and I used a couple of oils in there. So I think I used Melaleuca, lemon, eucalyptus or rosemary, and top that spray bottle up with some water and spritz that over my children's hair before they left the house. So then the head lice didn't want to jump on, and actually we had no problem at all. Plus my children, they smell amazing. On the school run, people often say to us, wow, you smell great. Like, it's the oils. And yeah, we didn't have any issues. Plus they're going to get that immune boost as well, especially at this time of year when, you know, there's a lot of germs and viruses lurking around. So the next one I'm going to talk to you about is oregano. And actually, Melaleuca and oregano together are a really great combination. We've got a great video that we like to share with people once they get started on the effects of Melaleuca and oregano together on a bacteria cell. Bacteria has like a sort of biofilm jelly on the outside, and then a hard kind of coating, a bit like a Smartie or an M&M or something like that. Now what happens in this video, which is so powerful to watch, is you see the Melaleuca breaking down the biofilm, the cytoplasm jelly, and then that allows the oregano in to go then and kill the bacteria. So this is a really powerful duo. Now if I'm unwell, my weakness tends to be my voice, so I use my voice a lot if I'm singing the children. So what I will do is I'll add a drop of these to some water, and I like to gargle and then swallow some. Now, you know, I quite like to feel it working. For some people that can be a bit strong for them, especially the oregano. But, you know, again, it's about listening to your body and doing what feels right to you. And the great thing about the oils is, if you don't want to internalize the oils, you don't want to use them in one specific way, you have other choices, because you can use them in 3 ways and they're still going to work. They're still going to get into your system. So oregano is like your big guns, your bad boy. It's a powerhouse. So this is an oil that I will go to if I'm not well. You know, if I do come down with something, and we do get ill, you know, sometimes we need to get ill to actually eliminate some of these toxins and throw it all off and, you know, flush out the bad stuff that is accumulating in our body, and to allow us to rest, I think, sometimes. But, you know, if you're anything like me, I'm busy, I'm a mum, I haven't got time to just go to bed. I've got 3 children to look after. So, you know, I want to be back on my feet as soon as possible. So I will use oregano. Now, oregano is an oil that you would only use for a maximum of about 10 days, 7 to 10 days without a break, because it's really strong and it could have an effect on your good gut bacteria, which, as I said before, is your immune system. So what I would suggest doing is making sure that you're using a good quality probiotic as well if you're using oregano. doTERRA do an amazing probiotic, by the way, which is microencapsulated. So there's 2 layers to it, which means it actually is going to get to your gut and not get destroyed by your gastric juices on the way. But any good quality probiotic. So yeah, this is a great oil. And what you can do if you don't like the flavor, because it is very strong, is you could be adding a drop of this to a veggie capsule. doTERRA do the veggie capsules as well, and, you know, following the guidelines, several drops of each different oil. A lot of us in our oily community, our blooming and glowing community, we do the Flu Bomb, which is a combination of different powerful oils. So if you're coming down with something and you want it gone, take that 3 times a day, a bit like you would do an antibiotic, and you'll be right as rain in a day or so. This is the great thing that I love about the oils, is I find, you know, sometimes when we do get ill, if we've got the oils to reach for, it means that that bug isn't going to hang around very long, and it doesn't tend to turn into anything more complicated or more serious. Obviously, that's not what we want. So this is also oregano, a great oil for any kind of infection, yeast infections, candidas, things like that. A lot of people suffer. It's very cleansing. And also, you know, I love the fact that the oils go into the body and they do what they need to do. I had one gentleman, and he was taking the Flu Bomb that I just told you about, and that really helped. But then the next day after he started taking it, he realized that his back pain that he'd had for years went away as well. And sure enough, it's because oregano is a powerful anti-inflammatory. So sometimes we're taking the oils for one thing, but they're actually going to work in addressing other issues that we might not even be actually using them for. And that just goes to emphasize that the oils go into the body and they heal the body from within, from the inside out. Okay, so that's oregano. You can also be adding this to food, but just be careful, because I've ruined many a dish because 1 drop was too much. So sometimes what you can do is do like a toothpick swirl and swirl that in to your shepherd's pie or your bolognese, and that's going to add a lovely flavour to it. But be careful because you want to ruin your meal. So we're going to move on to some of the blends now in this kit. So this kit contains 6 single oils and then 4 different amazing proprietary blends that doTERRA have created. So the first is Deep Blue. You'll notice that this has a different bottle top, and that's because it's not one that you would internalise. So it's got a child-proof top. It's because it contains an oil called wintergreen, which is it is a blood thinning oil. So anybody on warfarin or blood thinning medication needs to consult with their doctor. If you're on any medication, consult with your doctor first before using the oils, but this is definitely one that you wouldn't use if you were taking warfarin. So I'm just going to read what's in this blend so you can get an idea. You've got wintergreen, you've got camphor, peppermint, blue tansy, blue chamomile, helichrysum and osmanthus. And it is actually blue as well, because you've got the blue chamomile, the blue tansy in there. So it's known as the soothing blend. So this is an oil that you might reach for if you've got pain in the body, any deep pain or inflammation or injury even. You could apply it to tired joints. You could use it if you've got head tension or a migraine perhaps coming on to the temples on the back of the neck. We've got several girls from our oily community that use Deep Blue oil, and they don't have to use any meds now to look after their migraines, and it stopped their migraines from developing again. That's changed their lives. So it's a very, very powerful oil. It smells a little bit like that toothpaste that my grandma used to use, the pink one. It kind of smells kind of a little bit medicinal. I love the smell, but people differ, and what I like isn't necessarily what everyone likes. But it's very, very powerful. And so any deep pain, period cramping in the tummy, growing pains in children, sore feet, sore backs if you're at the computer at work all day. This is an oil that you could add a drop to your bath water as well. And a nice oil for massage, with a carrier oil. So that's Deep Blue. Okay, the next one we're going to talk about is Breathe. I love this oil. This is one of the most popular oils in this kit. So this is known as the respiratory blend. I'm just going to read the ingredients of what's in this bottle. So you've got laurel leaf, eucalyptus, peppermint, melaleuca, lemon, ravensara, cardamom, and this is like your natural respiratory oil. So many of you might use a product that you would apply to your children's chest or feet. Sadly, a lot of these products contain petroleum paraffin, so that's a toxin that our bodies can't eliminate. It's not actually very good. But what you have here is a natural alternative. So what you can be doing with this oil is adding it to a carrier oil and applying it to the chest, soles of your children's feet, using it in your diffuser to open the airways. And on an emotional level, it actually just helps you to take those deep breaths and be mindful of your breathing. I like to use this one in my diffuser necklace. So when my children are running in different directions in the supermarket, quick sniff and I'm ready to take on the world. I'm fine. It's true, isn't it? When you think about just taking some deep breaths, it instantly changes how you're feeling, and yet we forget to do it. And it's kind of important because breathing helps us to stay alive. So just the act of putting that drop of essential oil into your palms and being mindful and tuning in with yourself and with your breath is very powerful, and we should do it more often. Now, this is a great oil for anything respiratory, so coughs, croup, bronchitis, laryngitis. A lot of children these days have breathing issues, and we've had quite a few mums really desperate because they didn't want their children to be on the medication that they are having to take and rely on, that they know isn't good for their children, but they don't know what else to do. And we have one lovely mum, and she did her own research. She was an empowered mum. She took things into her own hands and she did her own research. She came across doTERRA Breathe, started using it on her son's chest, and he was born with severe allergies, and this developed into very bad breathing issues, and he was often having to be rushed to hospital, couple of times a week, sometimes in the middle of the night, because he couldn't breathe. Scary. Anyway, she started using the breathe oil alongside his standard meds, because you can do that. And after a couple of weeks, she said, I don't want to tempt fate here, but he hasn't had an attack. And then after a couple of months, it was time to go back to the consultant, and he hadn't had an attack again. And the consultant listened to his chest, and he said, well, these are like a totally different pair of lungs. What's been going on here? And she told him, and he said, well, keep doing it. We totally support you. It's clearly working. And then not long after that, he was allowed to go to nursery, because he hadn't been allowed to go before, because he was too allergic to pollen, to dust, to pets. And then not long after that, he was actually able to come off his medication, and they're just using the breathe oil to manage his breathing. And there have been times when he's had attacks and he's had to go back onto the meds, but then he's been able to come off them again and just rely on the oil. So that's just so inspiring and exciting. This is definitely an oil to try for any breathing conditions. It also aids restful sleep, so it's a nice one to be using in the diffuser at night time, perhaps with some lavender. Good oil for snoring, just because it opens the airways on the big toe or across the bridge of the nose, and also for ear congestion. Okay, so because it's opening of the airways, so this is an oil that you could apply diluted around the back of the ear to the mastoid bone down the neck. Okay, next one, Zengest, formerly known as Digest Zen. It's now called Zengest, and this is the digestive blend. Okay, so in this one we've got, let's have a little read. We have anise, we have peppermint plant, ginger, caraway seed, coriander seed, tarragon, and fennel. I love the smell of this one. I love fennel and aniseed sort of flavours. Now, this is a really powerful oil for any kind of digestive issues. So you could be using this oil before a heavy meal to help your body to break down your food and digest it and metabolize it. You could be using it if you have constipation or diarrhea. What the oils do is they bring the body back to the balance that you need. Okay, so it helps you to find that balance within whatever you've got going on there. IBS, colitis, and even more serious issues with your gut and with your digestive system. I like to use this one in my third pregnancy. I didn't have the oils on my first two pregnancies, and it made such a difference during my third pregnancy. But I was getting a bit of kind of acid reflux and indigestion, especially at night time. So I'd have a drop of this in my water and drink it, and it was instantly soothing. Any kind of gastrointestinal stuff going on, if you've got like a stomach flu or anything like that, parasites, another lovely thing that we sometimes have to deal with as mums. It's an amazing oil. My little nephew, he was suffering very badly from constipation following a bout of he had glandular fever, and then the meds he was on made him constipated. So this oil, he would ask for it. It's amazing how children are so in tune with their little bodies, and sometimes they know what they need. My children ask for the oils, and they come up with their own creations, and we put them into roller balls and make our own, and we love doing that. It's almost like they are self-prescribing for themselves. So that's Digest Zen or Zengest, a great oil for nausea, motion sickness, if your children have that when you're traveling. On Guard. Okay, so this is one of doTERRA's most popular blends. Okay, actually this is the oil that initially attracted me to doTERRA, because I just thought, wow, if there's something that I can use when my children are ill and also as a preventative for illness, I want that in my home. I want to be that mum that has that there to reach for, because children, they're always picking things up off each other. They're not always that clean, are they, children? Picking noses and sharing food, and they're exposed to a lot of germs at school, in the playground. They're coughing, not with their hands over the mouth, especially at this time of the year. So we start to use this from September, and I will be putting this on my children's feet every day. It contains very powerful protective oils. Okay, so in here we've got wild orange, we've got clove bud, cinnamon leaf, cinnamon bark, eucalyptus, and rosemary. And it has the added benefit of smelling like Christmas in a bottle. It really does. It's beautiful. So on my children's feet every day, diluted. And then if they start to get ill, I'll be upping the dose and using more of it or more regularly. First sign of a snotty nose or a cough, I'll be using it more frequently. This is also an oil that we'll put in the diffuser every day at this time of the year, because it's going to kill any airborne germs or viruses that are lurking in the air. If someone comes around to your house that's coughing, whack the diffuser on. You could make your own sort of protective mist in a glass spray bottle and be spritzing that around. I have one in my bathroom as a sanitizer, so I spray it on the toilet handle, over the toilet seat, on the handle of the door. I spray it on my children's head. I say, open your mouth. I spray it in their mouths. It's a wonderful oil, and it's a very comforting oil to have, especially through the colder months. It also is a really nice oil to add to your food. So you could do like a mulled juice or a mulled wine at this time of year, maybe with a touch of raw honey. This makes amazing popcorn, believe it or not. So some fractionated coconut oil or raw coconut oil, melt that down, add some maple syrup in, a couple of drops of this, and pour that over your pre-popped popcorn, and that tastes sensational, and you're getting that immune boost as well. They do a whole range of different On Guard products because it is the most popular blend that doTERRA do. So you can get a protective hand wash, you can get a laundry detergent, they do a cleaner concentrate, they do throat sweets, beadlets, even a toothpaste. My children love the On Guard toothpaste, and it's really just boosting that immune system all the time. It's got the clove in there, as I said, which is nature's most powerful antioxidant, so very, very protective. So that's On Guard. Okay, frankincense, save the best till last, I think. So frankincense is known as the king of all oils. Okay, if in doubt, go for frankincense. It is very, very complex, has very, very fine compounds, and it's also really expensive oil, okay, because it's quite hard to source this oil. And what doTERRA will do is they will only choose the finest level of resin. And there's anything from, say, level 1 to 7, and doTERRA will only choose the highest grade of resin, and they sell the rest off to the fragrance industry. Most essential oils these days are just used by the fragrance industry, but obviously our oils are medicinal quality, okay? So this is why they're of a totally different quality and level. They cost more, but they're worth every penny. Hopefully from the class this evening you start to understand the difference there. And so, this is an oil that you can be using for a myriad of different reasons. It's a powerful anti-inflammatory in the body. And because it has such a fine, complex structure, it contains sesquiterpenes, monoterpenes. It has the ability, it's been researched, to be able to cross the blood-brain barrier. So that means that any brain-related issues, it's going to be really supportive there. Do some research on it. Go on PubMed, look it up. Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's disease. If you're interested, research it for yourself. Be that empowered person, because you'll be fascinated. And it's a powerful cellular support. Okay, so some more serious diseases, look into them, do your research, and give it a try, is what I would say. This is an oil that we should all be really taking every day. As I said, it's in the doTERRA Lifelong Vitality Kit, but we like to take this every day. A drop under the tongue, and it's a very calming and meditative oil. A lot of yogis like to use this oil. I like to use this on my skin, as I said, at night time, because it has such a powerful cellular healing capacity. It's very healing for the skin cells as well. So a drop of this in my moisturizing lotion or carrier oil and applied to my skin is going to smooth out any wrinkles or fine lines or pigmentation or scars, or apply to the abdomen for stretch marks. But also it's going to help you to get a really beautiful deep sleep because of its calming properties. Frankincense is an amazing oil for young babies. Obviously, this was the oil that was brought to baby Jesus in the Bible, along with myrrh. So my baby, Ziggy, he had frankincense on his tummy button. frankincense on his crown. He was anointed with the frankincense, and myrrh on his belly button, because that's known as liquid band-aid. And his belly button just healed so beautifully, and he's always been such a calm, happy baby, and I'm sure that the oils have got a big part to play in that. And this is a wonderful oil throughout life. Okay, so for newborn babies right through to the elderly, it's a very spiritual oil. So just as it's welcoming to a spirit when they're joining the world, it's also an oil that's known to be very supportive and comforting when somebody's ready to move on, if you believe in that. I had one lady, and she loves the oils, but her mother was old, and she was dying, and she was in a hospice. But sometimes in those times of need, when there's nothing else that we can reach for, this is what the oils are all about. So she wrote to me to say how grateful she was to have her diffuser, to be using the frankincense in the diffuser, and she was able to give her mother a massage on her feet. And she said she knew that it brought her mother such comfort, and it brought her comfort too, to have something to do when she didn't know what else to do, and how grateful and thankful she was for that. So although that's a sad story, it's also really, really lovely as well. So yeah, frankincense is a beautiful, beautiful oil. And as I said, it's expensive. So the fact that it's in this kit, in the starter kit, is amazing, because if you buy it on its own, a 15ml bottle of frankincense will cost you over £50 wholesale, over £70 retail. However, there is an offer that doTERRA are doing right now, and it means that if you buy one of the kits or spend over 200 PV, I'm going to go into this in a bit more detail in a minute, you can get doTERRA frankincense totally free just till the end of the month. So if you want to get started with the oils, or if you've got an account already and you want to spend over 200 PV is a bit like dollars, so it's about £170. If you've got some other stuff that you want to buy, you're going to get the free frankincense, which is a great opportunity to get a prized oil that will hopefully last you through the year. So that's something that I needed to tell you about. Okay, so that is frankincense. So we've come to the end of this box. Hopefully you've enjoyed learning all about these amazing oils, and you understand why they're so special and what they can do. Just going to mute you. Please post your comments. Let me know, if you're on Facebook, post your comments, or if you're on the chat on Zoom, let me know how these oils have touched your lives, if you use them already, and share this with others, because it's lovely to hear from each other. So as we're doing that, I'm going to just quickly tell you how you can get started if you don't know, or if you're wanting to jump in and be serious about integrating these natural solutions into your life and using them on yourself and your family. You don't know where to start, I'll tell you how to go about it. So there are 3 different ways that you can buy doTERRA essential oils. The first way is retail, but nobody really does that. That's because you're going to be paying 25% more, and also you're not going to get the same level of support. You're not going to get a wholesale account, you're not going to get access to the closed groups, you're not going to get a free wellness consultation, you're not going to get the same information, and so nobody really does that. It's not what I would suggest. The second way that most people will buy is they have a wholesale account. Now, as you can see at the top, if you're on Zoom, wholesale membership usually costs £24. But you can get that for free if you go for one of the enrollment kits. So most people will start with an enrollment kit. Now, when you have a wholesale account, it doesn't mean that you've got any obligation to have to buy again. It just means you've got an account there that you can log into and replace oils should you need to, and try other products, but you don't have to, log in or do minimum spend or anything like that. You've just got it there. So that's the second way that you can buy, is through a wholesale account. The third way is you can buy below wholesale, but I'm not going to go into that in too much detail tonight. However, if you did want to get started with us, we'll discuss that at your wellness consultation, and there's something that you can add to your account to make even more amazing savings. So we can tell you about that another time. So yeah, going back to wholesale membership, which is usually £24, and then you get 25% off, you can get this totally free when you buy one of the kits. So you can buy all the oils singularly, by the way, and then you'd add on the wholesale cost separately, but it works out as much cheaper to buy the oils in a kit. because price per drop is a big difference there. So I'm going to tell you about some of the main kits that people tend to get started with. The first kit is the one we spoke about tonight, the Family Essentials kit. It contains your 10 oils in your 5ml bottles. Okay, got about 80 drops in a 5ml bottle. This kit also contains a free Smart and Sassy, which is your metabolic blend. It's £110 plus postage and packaging on top, which is about £3.50 for standard postage. It's a really, really good kit. It's very versatile, as I said, and it includes the enrolment cost for free. So it's a great place to start. Now, the most popular kit that we tend to sell, this is the kit that I initially went for, is the Home Essentials kit. And I'll tell you why this is a really good option. It's because it contains the exact same oils that we've discussed, but it's the 15 milliliter bottles, not the 5ml bottles. So you're getting 3 times as much oil there. Plus, you get a free diffuser as well, the petal diffuser. So that means that you can really be benefiting from the using the oils aromatically. And this month, as I said, if you bought that kit, you would be eligible for that free frankincense oil as well. So that is an amazing saving, and that's why most people will go for that kit. It's a kit that I suggest, to be honest, because you will get through the oils in this kit fairly quickly. So the Home Essentials is a really good place to start, but it depends on your budget and what you're wanting to do. Now, I just want to draw attention to another kit, actually, which I think is, a great option. And this is the Family Wellness Kit. So this contains like a fine smattering of different products. So what you have in that kit is you have the Family Essentials Kit, which is the 5ml bottles, the smaller bottles, the 10 of those. But you also get that Lifelong Vitality Nutrients Supplements Kit. So anybody with anything chronic going on, this would be a great place to start, because you've got the nutrition and you've got the oils, and then you've got some other doTERRA products as well. So you've got Past Tense, which is the tension rollerball blend. You've got the On Guard toothpaste. You've got an On Guard foaming hand wash. Great product. I love that. My children love that. Foams. They love foam. You've got the On Guard flu bomb capsules as well. So they're pre-made for you. You've got On Guard little mini beadlets, which are a bit like, they're kind of like a caviar of essential oil. It's like a third of a drop. I give these to my children because there's less oil in there if they're unwell, and they just pop them in their mouth, and it's like a burst of flavour and obviously immune support. Or if you're out and about and you're travelling on a train or something, you could put a beadlet in your hand and kind of pop it and use that as your natural sanitizer to protect you from germs. And then you've also got a fractionated coconut oil in that kit as well. So that is a really good kit. So the 3 kits that I've mentioned tonight are the Family Physicians kit is £110.40 plus postage. The Home Essentials kit, which is the 15ml bottles, is £222 plus postage. And obviously you get the free diffuser and the free frankincense and 3 times as much oil. And then the Family Wellness kit, which contains the oils and the supplements and the other products, is £198 plus postage. So, you've got some really good options there. And obviously, if you want to go over 200, so if you wanted to get the Family Wellness Enrollment Kit and then add one other product onto that kit, then that would be taking you over 200. So again, you get that free frankincense oil. So there are other kits that you can go for as well, and you can spend a lot more money on larger kits should you want to, or should you be interested in doing what I'm doing and learning more about the business opportunity. You might want to spend more money, but I didn't. I just started with the Home Essentials kit, and this is a great option for people that are just customers and also anybody that is interested in the business side of things. So if you did want to order any of the oils through us or through whoever invited you or introduced you to doTERRA, you need to go back to them and let them know. But if you want to do that with me, I need you to send me your details and I'll get you set up. The oils usually take 3 to 5 days. Obviously it's Christmas here in the UK, so it might take a little bit longer, and it doesn't matter if you're not in the UK, if you're anywhere else in the world, we can still get you sorted out. We've got communities all over the world within our Blooming and Glowing tribe to help you guys get started. So I've got this feedback form here that I will be sending you, and I want to share some of the information that we covered in tonight's class with you guys. So if you want to get your information back and fill out the feedback form, I can let you know some of the resources that we use and some of the tools that we use and some other information. Now on this feedback form, we've also got, there's 2 boxes there. If you've enjoyed the class tonight and you think, oh, I know somebody who could benefit from the oils, she needs that, my auntie needs that, you know, let's face it, everybody's got something going on, be it physical or emotional. So if that's you and you wanted to share the oils with somebody that you care about and really bring a gift to their lives, you might like to host a class, and we can come, myself or whoever introduced you to doTERRA can come and do a class with you in your home. Bring everything with us, bring the oils, bring some lovely tasty snacks, and just have a lovely, relaxed, educational, empowering, inspiring class with you guys. So if that's something that interests you, all you need to do is invite about 10 people and we'll come and do the rest. Plus you'll get a lovely free gift for sharing the oily love. I like to share a little mini key ring and we can fill that up with different oils depending on how many people come along to the class. So if that's of interest, let us know and we can sort that out. We are booking now into the new year. But the schedule does get quite busy, so get in touch quickly if you want to get a date secured. And then there's another box there that talks about the business side of things. Now with doTERRA, there are different types of person within doTERRA. So the first and the most people are just customers, just people that want to integrate natural solutions into their lives and use these oils for themselves and for their family. So that's a customer. Second type of person is somebody that wants to kind of share them with their friends and family, that person that might want to host a class like I just spoke about, and that would be considered a sharer, and there are, you know, nice benefits that you can have from that. And then the third type of person is somebody like me and my team who want to take it to the next level and want to help as many people as possible with these beautiful oils, and it's an extremely fulfilling and satisfying opportunity to be able to share these gifts with other people. Not only that, it's extremely financially beneficial when you join doTERRA, should you want to really change your financial health. And certainly for myself, that we've noticed a big change in our lives. My husband's been able to leave his job. We've been able to think about getting rid of our other business that we had and just doing doTERRA, and we love doTERRA, but also it brings such satisfaction to be doing something that we're passionate about. And these days, unfortunately, so many people are caught up in work that doesn't inspire them. They're just doing it to pay the bills. I feel very, very grateful that I've discovered a company that enables us to do something that we love, that actually gives us more financial freedom. It gives us more family time together with my children, and that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this. We want to be more in control of our lives as opposed to being dictated to because we have to pay the bills. So if that's you, if you are interested in that side of things, again, go back to the person that introduced you to doTERRA and they'll be able to tell you how it all works. And we have a business opportunity webinar coming up in January on Tuesday the 16th at 8 o'clock, where we will be talking about, you know, how it works. So if you want to learn more, you have nothing to lose by logging on and learning, and you know, it could really change your life for you. So let us know if you're interested and we can give you the details on that. So that is it, everybody. I'm going to log out. I've recorded this, so I will be able to post it on our pages on Blooming and Glowing, and also I'm on Instagram, Blooming and Glowing as well. I really, really hope you've enjoyed our time together this evening. I hope that you've been inspired. I hope that if you're that person that is wanting to change up some of the things in your life and be a bit more in control and intentional with the products that you're using, I hope that I may have inspired you to take those steps and think about how you're going to kickstart your 2018 and the products that you might want to ditch and the products that you might want to bring into your homes, because you won't regret it, especially if you're using doTERRA essential oils, because they bring so much to life, so much value, so much comfort, and as I said, it's in the palm of your hands. They're so easy to be able to use and to reach for in those times of need. So it was lovely having time with you this evening and sharing this. I hope that you're having a wonderful Christmas, and I will look forward to seeing you guys very soon in the new year, and hopefully journeying with you into natural health and wellness with these beautiful gifts of the earth. So lots and lots of love, everybody. I'm going to log out and I'll see you very soon. Bye. Okay, I'm just going to have a little look.